musical instruments tools. Second phase, electronic simulation of tools produced by reconstructed ancient Egyptian instruments to build an electronic sound database. Third phase, compose a piece of music inspired by phonic heritage using the available database. I will start my presentation by the idea of the research, not by presenting the phases of the research. Simulation. The idea of this research occurred to me after the national project for the revival of ancient Egyptian music has manufactured and reconstructed many ancient musical instruments. Which touched in my mind to build an electronic sound database scheduled for ringtones of those instruments. Which objectives is to number one, facilitating and helping music composers to compose their melodies inspired from pharaonic musical heritage using the trope, due to the unavailability of such sounds of those instruments before. Number two, identifying the sound region of each instrument. Three, introducing musicians to the characteristics and tunes of these instruments. It also touched in my mind electronic sound simulation, or so-called process sampling, where I used the ringtone samples with an instrument placed in the database and used them in the simulation. The purpose of the simulation of the tunes of the reconstructed ancient Egyptian musical instruments is to build up a database to be used by musicians when composing their pharaonic music. Just everything they do is using the musical keyboard device connected to computers and in addition to annotation and arranging music software. Definition. The simulation process using sampler method is the best alternative for creating the sounds industrially, either by using synthesizer or using software to create the sound, like synthesize software. Since the simulation used the sampler method produced sound closer to the truth, unlike the synthesize method where the sounds are not substantially similar and non-natural. For example, when you use a musical keyboard, and you may find a lot of different sounds, including the sounds closer to real sounds of those instruments, and other sounds which are totally different. Now we will listen to some sounds and the tunes of these instruments after the simulation using the musical keyboard or through the computer keyboard as available to us. Sounds of angular harp. Ancient Egyptian prelude. found that before launching the simulation, sound must measure the frequency of tones from reconstructed ancient Egyptian musical instruments and measuring the musical distance between the successive musical chords since. And the measurement process was already using many of software and program like auto signal software, which has been used by Freire Spectrum. Here comes the importance of this stage, where we know the most important findings and conclusions which emerged when measuring the vibration of ancient Egyptian lute with phrase. Of course, I used Ricardo book reference for me. Coptic lute differs from the ancient Egyptian prayer lute and even from the modern lute, as the Coptic lute contains two different musical scales, and sixth string produces a note which is totally different from the one produced by the double same string. Coptic lute is considered almost fixed instrument among ancient Egyptians. Thus, it can probably use it to identify maqamat. The Coptic lute differs from the ancient Egyptian lute as the earlier contains frills, resulting in the identification section of the vocal string, thereby determining the degree of musical tone, which restricts the musician and prevents him from changing the tone. Frequencies were measured and then the distance between musical scores